thought I would do a top tips video on how I like to make my Nuvo crystal drops, because I like to make them ahead of time and keep them in a pot so I've got them ready for cards. I like to do this because I often like to add them over a die cut or on top of a different embellishment or something. So if you did that straight from the bottle, it would dry uneven because it's an uneven surface that you're doing it onto, and you can get funny odd shaped Nuvo drops then. But also I like to make them ahead of time too, because if you're going to post your card off to the recipient, or for me it's like magazine commissions and stuff, you kind of need to have left them to dry for a couple of days to make sure they're really solid, so they're not going to get squashed in the post or stick to your other cards or whatever. So if I've already made them ahead of time and they've had plenty of time to dry, then that combats that problem. So anyway, I've got some of the new Nuvo drop colours here, like the Double Denim, the Blue Babe, the Gold Coast, Yellow Bird, Party Pink, and a couple of old ones as well that I've just got recently. So I want to make some drops in these colours to go in my pots. So I thought I would just do this quick top tips video while I'm making this many of them. So I'll use a new colour that I haven't even used yet first. Let's go Double Denim. So this sheeting that you see me using is the backing paper off some double-sided A4 adhesive sheets. This was just some that I got cheap somewhere, so it's got a yellow backing and one side has this grid pattern on, but you could also use the backing from like this wide double-sided tape if you saved that once you've used some of it, or Nuvo now make double-sided adhesive sheets too, which just has a white backing on each side, so you could save some of that too. You just want something that is a non-slip surface. You could make them straight onto your glass cutting mat, but because this is glass, there's nothing for them to grip to, so you're going to get quite flat drops once they've dried. You could also use the Tonic Easy Clean Matte. I haven't actually tried normal Nuvo drops on this, but I've tried using glitter accents to do that and it dries really nicely, so that's another alternative. But I just like using this because, you know, it's a small little A6 piece that I'm not going to want to use for anything else really, so I just sit them on my windowsill to dry for a few days, and then I'll plop them into the pots that I have. So this is just the best solution for me, and I find that this is like the perfect surface because it's got kind of a texture, so the dots stay nice and domed as well. So let's go with the Double Denim. This is one of the gloss Nuvo drops. I will show you all three types, I think. So this is the gloss. So I shake the bottle like this, even though this is a new bottle which is like completely full. You want to shake it a little bit to get it to come down to the end of the nozzle. As you can see there, it's just about to come out the end. So when they're new, you don't need much pressure really to get it out of the end. So you just want to hold the bottle as upright as you can to get a really good round dot, and then you want to hover it above the surface and let the drop drip onto the surface, and then keep squeezing until it's as big as you want, and then release the pressure on the bottle and pull away. And you do see a little peak to begin with, but with the gloss and with the glitter ones, that settles down really quickly and you get a perfect dome on top of them. So I'm just doing a few different sizes. Now I know that when I put these on my cards, I like to have maybe 3 that are bigger and 2 that are smaller, or 3 that are bigger and 4 that are smaller, depending if I want to put 5 or 7 on a card. So I just kind of squeeze out the sizes that I know I like to use on my projects. And you want to make sure you don't put these too close to each other, because they can joined together, which is a bit annoying because then you get a funny odd shaped one. But anyway, so that was showing the gloss ones. This is one of the glitter drops. This is one of the new colours too. This is the yellow bird. So again, shake the product down to the bottom. So you can see I haven't used this one yet because the product is only a tiny way up the nozzle. So if you squeeze, you can see that it moves. So again, you want to hold this upright and then just squeeze. And occasionally you get an air bubble, especially with colours you've used more, so there was less product in the bottle. Because obviously, I stand mine standing upright in a nail varnish rack, so the air is usually around the top of the bottle. So when you shake the product down, sometimes you can trap an air bubble inside. But if you do get an air bubble, I just like to use like the Tonic craft pick, and you just poke at it until it pops. And if you get them pretty much straight away as you're making them, then they will just self-level over each other again, and you'll never know that there was a air bubble in there. So just keep making as many as you want. Okay, and then I haven't got a crystal one out here, or a pearly one, so let me just grab the pearl colour. So this is Ivory Seashell. So I'll show you how I make the pearl ones. So again, shake the product down to the end of the bottle, but with the pearl ones, I think the viscosity is thicker. It's probably because it's got a mica in it, so it's probably a powder, so that would make it thicker. But and because it's thicker, you can get the points on your drop, so when you've held it down and made a drop, that peak can stay sometimes. Oh, it's already domed out now, but if you do have trouble with that, my advice is to squeeze it, and then as you're squeezing, you kind of like twist your hand and you get this cool swirl on top of the drop, but it also gets rid of the peak as well. So I'm not sure if you can really see it on the pearl colour, but you sort of keep swirling. Yeah, let me get a different colour. This one is navy blue. So shake it down to the bottom and then hold it upright, squeeze, and then if I twirl it, can you see the spiral? You can kind of see it. Yeah, there you go. So if you twirl it, you get that cool spiral on the top too, and it gets rid of the peak, which is really good. So that's my top tips on how to make your Nuvo drops ahead of time. I'm going to do some more colours too, but you don't need to see me do that. But here's a sheet that I did the other day. Sorry for my squeaky chair. So they're all dry now. They've been sitting on my windowsill, and you can see on those pearly ones that they've got a swirl on them, but they're perfectly domed, so definitely combats it. Then all I do with these is I just pop them off and put them in my pot. I've just got one of these bead storage pots. They do kind of stick to each other a little bit in these, but they do pop off from each other, so I don't have too many problems. Yeah, so you just pick them off. They come off really easily, and then pop them in your pot. Perfect. I wanted to show actually this colour. This is one of the new colours too. This one's called Holiday Cheer, and it's a glitter drop. But I don't know if you can see. It's got all of the colours of like fairy lights in it. So it's got red, blue, green and yellow glitter, which is really cool. Yeah, anyway, so that's my top tips on how to get the perfect Nuvo crystal drops ahead of time. So thanks for watching, bye!